I became a physical therapist because of a movie, and I'm completely serious. Today, I want to tell you the full story, where it started, what the journey looked like, and why I believe everything that happened along the way was exactly what was supposed to happen. I wanted to be in the NBA. Had always been my dream ever since watching Allen Iverson play and watching a little guy, fearless, going up against the Giants, dropping 30, leading teams to the finals. Ever since I saw him, he was my inspiration to to start playing basketball. I wanted to be just like him, and that was always my dream. I always write in school the career fairs. What do you want to, or when they give you the assignment of what you want to be when you grow up, and I'd say be an NBA player. So I always chase it. I always chase it. And as I got to high school, as I got to college, people would ask me what I want to do. And I got tired of people saying, nah, I'm not gonna make it to the NBA. So I would say I was gonna be a physical therapist. And why I would say why the career choice of physical therapist came on was because of the movie Just Wright. Just Wright by with Queen Latifah and Common. And if y'all haven't seen the movie, Common's this NBA player and he's on the New Jersey Nets. He goes through a catastrophic knee injury and he loses identity. He's up for a big contract extension and he doesn't know if he's going to be able to come back and lead his team to where they can go, which they thought it was the finals. They thought they had a finals team. And so it's going over his journey and the people that he has around him and how he's rehabbing and recovering. But in the movie, the physical therapist is Queen Latifah's character, Leslie. And she is the one that helps him remember who he is and his joy for basketball and help him get back on the court and trust himself and what he's able to do. At the end of the day, she starts getting opportunities to work with other teams because of the work that she did with Common's character, and it allowed her opportunities to work in the league. And I was like, wait, I could, I might not make it to the NBA, but I could still be in the NBA and help other people either get to the league or stay in the league after they've gone through something, a devastating injury that maybe has them questioning what they are like after basketball. And I thought that was so cool. Like I didn't even know what a physical therapist was because I'd gotten like the regular ankle sprains, jam fingers, those things that you normally deal with as a basketball player, but I hadn't, thank God, experienced the traumatic long, long recoveries, ACL tears, Achilles ruptures, meniscal tears. I hadn't dealt with any of that, so I didn't know that was even an option until I watched the movie. I somehow watched the movie and I was like, yo, this is so cool. And that's when it became real for me to be like, I'm going to be a physical therapist in the NBA. I might not be playing, but I'm helping guys stay in the league or get to the league because their number one skill is being available. If they're available, they can highlight their talents and show the world and show their owners and their GMs what they can do, and they can get more contracts, take care of their family, inspire generations after them, like Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady did for me. And I wanted to have the opportunity to have that kind of impact. So that's where the journey of physical therapy started for me. And that it really started from a movie. And I was like that. So that's what I was determined to do. And I was looking at when I was applying to schools, I was looking at where I could go that had clinical rotations that in some kind of professional sports world. So, me being who I am, I try and be very calculated about the decisions that I make, especially with something as big as that. Where I was applying to school was cities that had professional teams for the most part. All except one. I applied to four schools, all but one of them had a professional NBA team. And I was like, I'm gonna try to network and see if I can at least get my foot in the door of working with a team, whether it's on a clinical rotation or just being in the city and being able to connect with other providers, whether it's through Zoom, whether it's through in-person meetups. I was trying to do whatever I could. So me going to school in Boston is where I ended up going to school, and where my campus was, you could actually see the TD Garden from our campus, which was super cool. But we didn't get the opportunity to my school didn't have connects with anyone professional, any guys on the Boston Celtics or the main G League team. But trust me, I tried. I tried talking to our clinical leads and seeing if we can make contract connections. But those things are super hard. You have to know people. You have to be able to have a school willing to work with you to help you get those rotations, set up those contracts, and then you really just it's really a grind of just like the travel, the working long hours. It's really a grind to really keep these athletes healthy. But at the time, it's what 2019, 2020. The world shutting down because of COVID. So that kind of put a hamper on things, but there were a lot more educational virtual events happening that you could learn more about life in the NBA as a rehab provider. And so I would go to those. I would take notes and listen to what people in the league are saying and try and connect with those people and ask questions and follow-ups and see how I could take one thing from what they said and incorporate that into my life at the time as a student. And when I'm treating people, how can I use some of those same principles to help people get better? And even though I wasn't working in the NBA, I would still use the concepts of what they're trying to accomplish with the high level athletes with regular population. And the cool thing is they don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm just testing different things, trying to understand the qualities that I'm trying to go for. And I would test different things that, the people on these calls would say they're doing, and I would try with my patients, and they had no idea, but it was my time to experiment and figure out what works, what things should I be looking for, how would I coach this, how should I cue this, what things am I looking for, what's considered good, what would I let pass, and what would I absolutely say needs to change. So that really allowed me to just get a lot of reps in, figure out what needs to be said, how things need to be coached, how does it come across when it's being delivered, what's the kind of tone that you're using, does the person feel like you're convicted about what you're saying? Those are all things that were running through my mind. And I would also just experiment on myself and figure out, all right, what kind of where do I feel these muscles working? Like what should I be feeling and where am I feeling it? And I think this is also just an opportunity if you guys are wanting to get better at something, record yourself doing the thing. You can really spot quickly what you tend to do and what changes can be made to maybe make it a little better. And you can just improve that over time. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Before we get into today's episode, this episode is brought to you by The Blueprint, a free community for hoopers who want to get better at the game of basketball. You'll have the chance to get weekly content, have the ability to ask any and all your questions related to the game, and it's free. So the link's in the bio. Join, and we'll see you guys in the blueprint. Now let's get back to today's episode. So that was my journey growing up. And I say growing up, but I feel like that was a time where I really just had a lot of opportunity to grow and learn and really just trying to implement to be at the top of the craft. And you get the opportunity to, I would have loved the opportunity in school to be able to work with the Celtics or work with the G League affiliate because I think that would have been super cool. Just being around the game every day, getting to learn how the elite of the basketball world stay healthy and available to play. And you can bring those qualities to any population, whether it's a 8-year-old kid or a 90-year-old adult. All the qualities stay the same. You just have to change the lever depending on where that person is at, which I think is cool. Um, and so after I got out of school and I'm starting to practice, I am at the time, how old was I? 27? So now it's like I'm starting to think about what does life in the NBA look like? And is that what I want to do at this time? And at the time, I'm dating my now wife is my then girlfriend, and we're doing long distance. And I'm like, if I'm in the league, I'm traveling from city to city. I'm not home a lot of the time. October to potentially June, you're on the road. Especially if you get to playoffs, you never know what schedules. Player schedules are different. You have limited time. You might arrive in the city at 2 a.m. You gotta be ready to go at 8 a.m. And I'm out here trying to build a relationship. And I was like, hey, not even to mention that you gotta continue to find a way in and network. And so I was like, I'm gonna take all the things that I learned from going to these talks in like Elite Basketball Rehab Conference or APC with Ramsey Nijum, all the things that you learn and try and implement that to the best of my ability to be the best physical therapist that I can be. And it's really funny. I just think about Leslie and Just Wright and just trying to meet the person where they're at and figure out where the end goal they're trying to get to. And don't let them forget who they are and understand that there's more to them and more to you than just the game. Even though you happen to be really good at it, there's more than what you bring to the table than just the game. And that's where I think the fun in my job becomes is allowing you to be okay to find that. Be okay to search for that. Figure out what makes you go without the game. The game is just the game. But we're obviously trying to get you back to performing to a high level. But what are the things that made you fall in love with the game where it was just fun? It was just a game. And there wasn't the pressure of having to perform in front of 20,000 people every day, but also millions of people watching at home and then having to deal with if you have a bad game, social media and people coming after you, you messed up my parlay. I lost $1,000 because you didn't get 9 rebounds, over 9 rebounds. The nonsense that fans be saying sometimes to players, they see this, they hear this. And so I really just try to humanize it and make sure that players feel like they are listened to, they're heard, they're having fun, they're also challenged, but understanding that we have a goal we're trying to get back to, and we're gonna do everything in our power to make sure that you get back to that goal. But you also gotta understand what it's gonna take to get to that goal. And I think that's where my playing experience, my delusional confidence of me trying to get to the league helps me here because I understand the demands of the game. I play it, played it for a long time. I study it. I watch it all the time. You come to my house and it's basketball season, you just know there's probably basketball on. My wife is now a basketball fan. She was never into sports and now she loves watching. She's a big Warriors fan. She likes Steph Curry. So, my daughter is always has the ball in her hands. We got the little tyke hoop. So I really love the game. And I really want a lot of people to be able to enjoy the game as well. And if you can be on the court and not worried about your body and not wondering if it's going to hold up, if something's gonna feels unstable, if you can speed up and stop, if you can change direction, if you can cause havoc. Those are the things that I need to make sure that you are ready for and able to do. And those are the kind of things that I have to expose you to over time in a methodical way to let you know that you can handle it. But also, I need to make it harder than what you're going to see in the game. Because if the practice or the rehab is harder or the training is harder, then you know you're ready for whatever comes to you in the game. Because the game has its moments of chaos and reactivity, but it also has, you know, patterns. And if we can get you going in those patterns and expose you to enough jumps and cuts and lands and repeated sprints and make sure your conditioning is up to par, then we're in a pretty good place. But we have to, I think that's really why I enjoy doing what I do because even if you're not a basketball player, I still need to understand you and where you're at. I need to understand what is required of you and what potentially caused the injury or the pain point to begin with. And then once we figure that out, I need to then reverse engineer and figure out what we need to do in rehab or training to make sure that when you get to that point, the same thing doesn't happen again. And that's where I find the fun of what I do. I really get the opportunity to lay out plans, tests, make sure we're trending in the right directions. If not, what needs to change? What dials need to be adjusted? How can we continue to work to get you closer to where you're trying to be? But also trying to help you find the joy in just having the opportunity to get back to something that you love to do. Some people aren't as fortunate to be able to go to that or have that opportunity of being able to look forward to going back to something, even though sometimes it looks like it's so far away. But being able to stack day after day after day will get you closer. Will get you closer to where you're trying to get to. And so, whether it's a 10-year-old who is just new to the game or it's a pro, the approach still stays the same. And I think it's just adapted to the person that's in front. And that's really why I love what I do because no two people are going to be the same. And it's up to you and I to make sure that we're lockstep in what you're experiencing and what you're trying to get back to. And then me, on the other hand, I have to make sure I comprehend what you're saying and can put that into plan into motion to help you get back to what you're trying to do. So that's really why I love what I do. And I think it's just so funny that if I hadn't seen that movie, I don't know if I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I really don't. Because me, when I got injured, when I would get injured, I would just try and move it around and push through it and hope it goes away. I didn't know physical therapy was a thing. Um, it's probably, honestly, it's probably good that I didn't know what it was because I'm not sure about the quality of care I would have gotten for the things I'm trying to get back to. I think it would have been pretty basic, and that's something that would not have been good for my basketball development. Maybe for just day-to-day life, yeah, being able to walk, go up and down the stairs, sit down, stand up, great. But for the chaoticness of basketball, fast, slow, high, low, duration, like having to go for multiple minutes at a time potentially, like it might not have got me back and it might have soured my interpretation or vision of what physical therapy is and what it could be. So I just think it's funny that the movie is really what got me into physical therapy and how it's really shaped how I look at rehab and training and the people that I work with. And I really just, I really love the game and I really like helping people realize who they are and realize who they are becoming and being a small, small part of that transformation. You guys do a lot of that work by just showing up every day, trusting what it is that I or your rehab providers might be telling you, and trusting that they have your best interests at heart and really want you to succeed. And so I love what I do. I love what I do. I really want to give so much game to anyone that wants to continue to play. I think the best way to be able to play is to be able to be available to be on the court. And if you can be available, you can exponentially develop and get better. But if you're struggling with injuries or staying on the court, it's hard for you to get better because you just are not physically able to handle the demands. So I just love being able to help y'all and help you stay on the court and do what you love to do. Play with that joy, play with that smile on your face. I don't want you guys to feel like you're like me and when injuries come up, you try and gut through it and figure it out on your own. You got someone in your corner who has play at a high level, understands the game, studies the game, and wants to make sure that you have a great experience playing the game. And that's really why I've built this platform. I have this podcast. I have NLB PTP. I have the blueprint because I really just want basketball players to have so much game, so much value. Continue spreading the game that we all love. And that's why I'm gonna continue to show up as long as I can because the game is giving me so much and I want to be able to give a fraction of it back for what it's done for me. So as we wrap up here, it's what I want you guys to think about. Whatever you're going through in your basketball journey right now, you don't have to figure it out alone. There's people that specialize in this, and you don't need to do it by yourself. There's lots of good resources out there for how to continue to play basketball, how to jump higher, how to shoot better, how to take care of your body. I'm not the only one. I want you guys to find the resources that you resonate with, that you can connect with, and realize that you guys can ask for help. Don't bottle it in. Don't try and figure it out on your own. That's not your job right now. Your job is to enjoy the game. Find the joy in playing. And if y'all don't know where to start, come find me in the blueprint. That's exactly what it's there for. But on that note, I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace. This episode is brought to you by The Blueprint. If today's episode resonated with you and you want to be part of the community where you can ask questions like this and get real answers from someone who knows basketball and the body, then The Blueprint is for you. It's completely free to join. Weekly value from me, monthly live Q&As where you can ask your questions and you get a real response. A community of hoopers who get it. The link is in the show notes. Come introduce yourself inside. I'm really looking forward to you guys joining. We'll see y'all in there.